Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Sinorat. I am an English education student. So today in this video, I'll be talking about how children from mixed nationality families learn to speak more than one language, especially how they acquire their second language, or what we can call it as L2. To help explain this, I'll be using a real-life example. A sweet little girl named Ritsuki from the famous Ueno family in Japan. Ritsuki's mom, her name is Mega, and she is from Indonesia, and her dad, Pak Bambang, is from Japan. So she hears both languages every day at home. But how does she learn them? Does she mix them up? And is it possible for her to forget her first language, Indonesian? Now, let's find out together as we explore the world of bilingual children, language learning, and the beautiful balance between two cultures. So, what happens when a child grows up with two cultures and two languages? Today, we're exploring about how a bilingual child like Ritsuki from the Ueno family learns her second language. So, her name is Ritsuki, and her parents is Indonesian mother and Japanese father, and they lives in Japan. And her mom making a daily life content, and it often shows her speaking both Japanese and Indonesian. Now, let's talk about how Ritsuki learns her second language. So, there are two ways a children can become bilingual. First, a simultaneous bilingualism. This means the child learns two languages at the same time from a very young age, usually since birth. This is what happened with Ritsuki. She hears Indonesian from her mom and Japanese from her dad, and the environment around her, like at school, stores, or playground. Because she hears both everyday languages, she is learning both languages together naturally. The second is sequential bilingualism. So this is when a child learns one language first and then starts learning the second one later, like after age 3. But Ritsuki, it's not like this. She is clearly growing up with both language from the beginning. So now, let's talk about two ideas from linguistics that help explain how kids like Ritsuki learn two languages. There is two things. Unitary system hypothesis. At first, some kids mix both languages together. For example, they might say sentences with half Indonesian and half Japanese, and that's normal. Later, they start to understand which words belong to which language and use them more separately. And second is two systems from the start is separate system hypothesis. So the other kids can learn two different languages clearly from the beginning, and they know which language to use with which person. Ritsuki seems like this, like she speaks Indonesian to her mom and Japanese to her dad, which shows she understands the difference. So, Ritsuki is a great example of a child who is growing up bilingual in a natural, healthy way. So now, I will show you a videos of Ritsuki talking with her mom and her dad with different language.
Yeah. 人参笑った。これは
バナナ。
違うよ。
これ。
ここ。はい。これお願いします。
できない。できない。できない。
Baru di ini, baru dibuang ya Rit ya.
Iya. Tapi udah. Ini jahat bukan.
Bukan.
Mama kamu. Boleh. Boleh. Boleh.
Bisa.
So, can a bilingual child forget their first language, as we called L1? So, yes, the answer is yes, it is possible. If a child doesn't use their first language often, they might slowly forget it. That is called language attrition. And it happens when they only hear and use their second language all the time, and the first language is not used anymore. But in Ritsuki case, this is probably won't happen. Why? Because she still uses Indonesian every day when talking to her mom, even though she lives in Japan and uses Japanese at school and outside the house, but she still keeps practicing Indonesian at home. And that helps her keep both language active. Still, we can guess that Japanese is her stronger language because she lives in Japan and she speaks it in a daily life, and it's surrounded by Japanese media, friends, and education. So, even though she's fluent in both, her dominant language is likely Japanese because she lives in Japan. Okay, so now Ritsuki show us what it's like to grow up in a bilingual family like her. She learns Indonesia from her mom and Japanese from her dad, and she uses both languages in her daily life. And this is possible because her family support both cultures and both language. It is very important for bilingual children to keep speaking their first language, not just for communication, but also for staying connected to their roots and their family. And being bilingual is not only about knowing two languages, it is also about feeling close to your family, living between two cultures, and being proud of who you are. And being bilingual isn't just about speaking two languages, it is about identity, family, and the ability to connect with two worlds. So I think that's all my explanation about bilingual journey from Ritsuki. Thank you so much for watching and see you. Bye bye.